Hello, comrades. It's Premier Rever, and we are back again, of course, at the city of Nueve Revergrad. I haven't been over here too much, other than to assign to get them working on these bridges. I think these two bridges are our big holdup, but we are actually getting to work on a few buildings here now. A little bit of time has passed, enough for our money to go up. Now, I should have probably gotten this all ready, but won't take long. This is going to be a bit of let's fix the economy wherever it's in need of tweaks. Not wherever, but in places that we can. So one of the things I want to do, it's kind of my goal, and I think it's going to be a catchy title. I think we may spend over $100 million, which would be quite a thing. However, I don't think you should get too excited over what that means. When the game first starts up, steel is worth about 400, and making the assumption that steel follows all the other prices, that they don't drastically change relative to each other, which I don't even know to be true. Apparently, Attican has done more studies on things like that, but we're practically at 18,000. If I take 18,000, and I'm doing it on my little calculator over here, and I divide it by 400, which is a little bit higher than it normally starts out on the map, that's 45. So what that's saying is that your money is worth 45 times less than it was when the game started when it comes to purchasing steel. Now, again, making that assumption that all the other pricing follows a similar path. You could go back and look at how much more chemicals cost. Look, each ton of chemicals is 113,000 for us to sell it. So again, you could also look at the purchasing. I mean, however you wanted to do it. As a matter of fact, I really should be putting in pretty much 20,000, right? Which is actually pretty easy math because it's going to be 50. I don't even have to use the calculator. So really 50 times. Now, if so you take a look at the money we have, remember the money is now worth 50 times less, and I'm just going to put in 140,000 divided by 50. It's going to be what did I do? I did something wrong. Let me redo it. 140. Oh, not 140,000. 140 million. Okay, so 2.8 million. So all of this money that we have is really about the equivalent of you starting out with 2.8 million. Now, there's nothing wrong with having 2.8 million, right? I mean, that's a fair amount of money to have, especially after you get things built and you start the game out. Obviously, the things will continue to rise in price, so your 2.8 million 10 years later means something different. And by the way, that's how inflation works in real life. It works equally in the game. So in any event, what I would like to do potentially is upgrade the electrical trains. And that's going to be extremely costly because, again, our money is worth less. It's not that the trains are more valuable necessarily. It's that the money is worth a lot less. So you could say, oh, look, that train costs more. Yeah, but your money cost is less, worth less. It's really a very important and by the way, that's very true. If you put your money in a savings account and you get 1% interest, but inflation goes up by 4% that year in your country, you have less money by putting it in your savings account. That doesn't mean you shouldn't save money. It just means that's not necessarily the best thing to do with your money because you're not keeping up with inflation. Every year you have less purchasing power. All right, I hope that helps. I have a little list here of things to do. I would like to take a minute to thank you guys for all your subs and likes and comments. And I realized yesterday afternoon when and by the way, this is Thursday for me. I'm making Saturday's episode a little bit ahead of time, so I don't have to make it right before the live stream. It just, it works out, whatever. I had a rough day, you could say, just a busy day, and I was a little quick with a comment just to respond to the comment. And if you guys notice, when I do respond to your comments, I always try to express my appreciation towards them. And I would just like you to know that even if I don't react to your comment in a positive way or the way that you would like me to react to, in particular, I'm talking to Alan, who is not upset at all, I don't think, with my response, but this is something that I feel. You know, I didn't want to be dismissive, and I don't want you guys to think that when it comes to this, this situation here not being as efficient as it should be or could be, I'm not being dismissive. I am listening. It's just not in my plan for today type thing. So, and then again, yesterday being a busy and hectic day, I probably shouldn't even have responded until I was really ready to be positive about the comment, because I am positive about the comments. So please just keep that in mind if I ever give you a little bit of a brief answer. And sometimes, you're busy, you just want to get the answers done. I really try to respond to each of your comments honestly and yet positively, right? Even if I'm not going to do anything about it, or if I think you're wrong, I still try to be positive about the whole experience, just for everyone's sake. So there you go. So yes, I absolutely, just to answer, if you don't know what I'm talking about, these silos they're not filling up. I have no real idea why. These, I was looking at a little bit more, just, as I get more comments, I do take them seriously. So when I got into the game this morning, I did take a look. If you look, there's no trucks here, right? So there's no backup of crops. And, we have the 2 trains, which we always seem to have at least 2 trains. Sometimes we even have a third here. So I wonder if it's not that, like, every time I come and look, there's a train here. So I'm thinking that these silos aren't filling up for whatever computer reason, because the train is sucking it out faster than the silo can put it in, or something along those lines. Now, I don't know. But the fact is that nothing's backed up here, right? So I will get to improving this area. I never liked it. And if you guys had watched every single episode and remember photographically, you might know from the day that I built this, I was not happy with this situation. And I definitely want to improve it. But considering that I'm getting all of the crops off of the fields that I can, it's really telling me that I have a problem with this. And I think I just sort of went over this the other day. Like, I really need to consider, like, taking this whole thing as far as the fields go and moving it somewhere, like, closer to the center, in a sense, where these farms are going to be in the middle of their fields. I don't think this is the perfect layout for a farm. You would really want to put a farm down, like, say, here, and then surround it with fields. Now, having said all of that, it's kind of all good enough if we take a look. The other real question when it comes to the crops at this point is really, do we have enough crops for food? So when we come in here and we look and we don't quite have enough crops, but do we, right? There's 2 silos there. Let's see what we got in both of them. So see, we do have enough crops that we're continually creating food. So now the fact that this food train isn't filled up says, well, we probably could use some more workers, but it's close. And then you kind of get to the real end question is, are we importing any food? Well, yes, but a very slight amount, and that's explainable because we don't have this with food in it as far as I know. So we have electronics coming here. So this food is being purchased. So I don't think we have any kind of a food crisis. In other words, we're making enough crops to make food. And let's come back over here. Keep in mind, I'm going to make moose cow, which is going to change the whole dynamic of our food or our crops, right? Because if we start making more and more meat, that's going to suck up more and more crops. And then in addition to that, I have a whole nother farm here planned, but we want to get vodka going over here, Vodka Town, or the little vodka section. I guess we need another name for that too. And I plan on buying a train, maybe even today, to go from New Farmloak over to vodka. Now, are we going to ramp up the number of people in vodka? Absolutely could. I was a little bit hesitant because we had that power plant here. We seem to be, I'm not real happy with our power situation. We are purchasing power, at a fairly good clip. But at the same time, we don't have that pollution over here. So I'm wondering if the lifespan, the lifespan of these people is increasing. So I think that we're going to end up with a lot of, or at least a good number of people over here that are unemployed. So now that we've gotten them, and look, our last polluter is this meat packing plant, slaughterhouse. And again, if we can move that over, make a nice non-polluted city with a nice area here, we'll have gotten rid of the last of the polluters away from old Revergrad, and we'll be able to take and bus more people over into here in order to get this all fired up. And we're really close. And again, we get the train going. I think we got all the tracks done as far as I know. They should all be electrified. we could take a last look. They need to be re-signaled, but now we have this little project over here, don't we? Yeah, let's see. That doesn't appear to be electrified. Just while we're here, why don't we get them? Yeah, this is already electrified. Oop, what happened there? There we go. All right, so we'll get all... Oh, it did it again. See, there's definitely a laggy thing happening. Now, I don't know if that's... Yeah, I don't know if that's electrical track or not. We can... Yeah, so I think that's... I changed that to electrical track so trains would stop going in there. So there we go. I think this says no electricity because it's a crisscross. And I'm hoping that when I sign this, they come in from the right direction. Though I have a feeling that they might do something really dumb. But let me just come over here and... Well, you know what? If I assign this, then they should come up here from the right direction. So let's... There we go. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll get done. And that should be the last of the track. So... In other words, there we go. So that I'm really happy, by the way. I've been running the map for probably the better part of an hour, maybe even more than that. And really have, things are going relatively well, knock on wood. There we go. Our money's going up, maybe not again, keeping in mind inflation. It's not flying up that fast, but it's going up nicely, and we can do some more things with the money we have. And I feel that we have a positive situation, so even if we spend some of it. Oh, by the way, the other thing, not to get myself too distracted by the vodka train tracks there, clothing is, I want to ramp up this. You can see our corn train sits here and just pumps food into this. We could talk about maybe trying to get some more workers here, and maybe we will. But we can also talk about designing the new clothing/fabric area. And I haven't done too much of that because we've been working on designing all of this wonderful stuff up here. so there you go. So that's the food situation, and know that I will improve that area down there by those other farms. But I'm really thinking that one of the things we're going to need to do, we're not going to have enough crops. Just looking at how much we're using now, like we have enough, but I'm really considering a farm over here. There may be some other places, like we might be able to get another one over here. I don't think that would be unreasonable. It's a little bit of a tight thing with this kind of big hill, and really hills can be flattened, but these rocks can't be getting rid of. So you need you like a good place that doesn't have any rocks in it, or very, very few. And this is just sort of a nice big open area. The only thing I don't like is it's sort of getting into my plan for more power plants. But I guess I could always put the power plants up here and just make this loop a little bit different. I don't think that would be the end of the world, but whatever. That's getting too far ahead of today's plan. All right, so there we go. Another thing I wanted to mention, I've had conversations with Dennis. You may have seen some of his comments or seen him on the live stream when he comments. Dennis has a Linux computer and was asking me like about a signaling issue that he had, and more or less on his Linux computer, I mean, there's just absolutely, like, he gave me a copy of a map that I ran on my computer, which is a Windows base. Now, I don't know that it's a problem with Linux, but him and I couldn't come up with any other reason why his chain signals absolutely seem to be broken in certain situations where the trains just end up sitting there and they come to this like standoff situation where they're both just facing each other. Now I don't think he's trying to do anything overly sophisticated. I mean, he definitely set up the situation that fails on his computer and asked me to take a look at what he was doing wrong, even though he probably knew he wasn't doing anything wrong, if you know what I mean, because it was really bothering him and he was really trying hard to fix it. He's not doing anything wrong. I put it on my computer. It works like a champ for hours. I mean, I just sat there and let it run one day while I was doing other things. And it ran, never backed up once, and yet he would run it for 10 minutes. So keep that in mind, that there may be an issue with that. One other piece of advice about the game, since I'm on that subject. When you go to do your save, I really recommend that you save right when you end so that you have... And try not to let the game run when you're ending, because it's been a number of occasions now that I have saved it and then come back, and it's been like one or two of the save files gets corrupted, and you can maybe go back to the third auto save or something along those lines. So I guess what I'm saying is, if it works into your life, try not to, try to save it when you get done, like an official save, which I imagine you probably usually do. But then try not to let it run through all your auto saves at that point. Like, just see if you can't, treat your auto saves kindly, because they may recover your map for you even after you've saved it and quit and come back. It's like, a number of times the game crashed during the one live stream, but other times it's just been when I've come back and reload a game, it just won't load. And I've heard other people report that more than me. I've been relatively lucky. Here, I'll knock on wood again. There, so I hope that helps. Just try to do your best. What I do, but as much because the recording is after every episode I save, so that hopefully the worst case scenario would be that I'd have to go back and lose an episode's worth. And if that makes sense. So I think having repeated saves, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, by the way, too, this game save is rather large. Like, if you keep doing that, try not to get up to number 98. You may fill your hard drive up with these game saves. Okay, so I think that's most of the initial non-getting anything done. But hey, look, we've been running more, and I have an ulterior motive to that running, is I've been emptying the electronics out of here the whole time. See how I can multitask? So this guy has got electronics in him, so what I've been doing in this case is send him to his next destination, and then what we can do is come up here. Now I think we're kind of done, because I have a couple trucks going to this other one. Yeah, that's that one. Let's just, see, we have to wait till each of these is empty. Let's just see, what's this guy doing? Yeah, they don't seem to be moving. I think I know what they're doing, because I told them to wait in both spots. Yep. So now the problem is, this guy has nothing. What is this guy doing? Is he filling up? Yeah, he's filling up with them. So the problem is, but he's just about to leave. So in other words, like, because we're selling off all the electronics when we get done, it's a little bit of a delay for, like, say, this guy to go take him over to the shopping center when the train fills up. So it's a weakness that I will try to correct in the future when it comes to my thing. And what that really is saying is, don't supply buildings from where you're taking the trains and then going to export. It's the same exact problem we're having with our electronics. So the point is to, which one's this guy? Say that once this guy gets empty, I need another depot. Because I don't want to fill up all the depots that I have real close. So is these guys, I know I can't see anything, right? Okay, I know I have a depot over here. All right, right here. So this guy can go back to this depot, close him, and then these guys, okay, this is the train. I don't care about him. Yeah, this guy's empty and heading back to that warehouse. So let's, for now, just set him over to here. This guy is headed, oh, by the way, I've noticed this happening. This is, oh no, this isn't the same. Why do they both have... Oh, this is the one that goes to that shopping center. So let's close him. This is the one. This is the last one. Or is it? Yeah. This is the last one that needs to drop off back to the Electronville warehouse. And then what that means is that warehouse 5 is done, which is good. That means we can fully... Well, we could have... come on. There we go. Let's get over here. So this is... warehouse 5 there. So we got our food in here now. We've got nothing in here. We got some electronics, but I could deal with that. Maybe even with this guy. Yeah, and then we have, this is one supposed to have electronics. but this one is warehouse 4, right? So this isn't the same one. So in other words, I still have trucks going back and forth. And then this one has a little bit more electronics than we need, but it's just because we're not selling that many out of here right now. So eventually that'll go back down to where it should be. So it's really, if we take a look at the mess that we had in here, if you guys watched one of the last episodes, there's warehouse 3, 4, 5. We only have food in this one. We have too many electronics. We would also put alcohol in here if we're even going to. I don't know why it ends up doing things like that food. Sometimes I delete it and it doesn't seem to come back in, but then sometimes it does. I don't know. So we have a few more, but we should have some vehicles coming back into here to get rid of the last of those electronics. And again, like I said, when this guy's done, we'll send him back to a depot. I didn't want to fill this depot up completely, though. What I do want to do once he's done is talk about, yeah, which one was 5? That's the one with the food. Yeah, we'll have him go to food. So in other words, we're going to have him come back here and get food and drive it over to this cargo station. So I guess we can do that, really. Oops. All right. And then unload. No. Unload food. So we don't even have to send him to a depot. This was part of the plan, just maybe not necessarily in this exact order. Good. So now what else can we get over here? This is another thing that I'd like to do for like a future, whether we have, I was thinking about this, whether we have enough meat or we don't have enough meat or we don't have enough clothing, I would still like to get them driving from whatever warehouse over here to here with the stuff that they need. Okay, good. This guy's done. So what I can do is I can delete that stop. Right, just because it was the one down there. And then let's see, wait. Yeah, for now I want them to wait. But good, now we should have food coming into here. We already have the electronics truck sitting here. So the next one that I would want would be clothing. So let's go get some of those trucks that we just sent to that depot, because why not? Over here. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Well, let's go get some trucks somewhere else. So I think I had a few I noticed. Yeah, as long as they're empty. That one's got alcohol in it. That one's got electronics in it. Yeah, we need to clear out these trucks. Let me put these over to the side. I may take a little bit of a break here. I mean, I don't know how much of this stuff you guys like to see. Nobody said, oh my gosh, don't do this ever again. But I'd also like to talk about our alcohol thing. But there you go. This guy, this was the one I sent in there recently because he was done doing the same thing with the electronics. Or electrical components, sorry. So what I want him to do is come to warehouse 4, which I think, no, that's warehouse 3. What is in warehouse? That's the electronics. And we're not doing alcohol at this moment. So this must be warehouse 4. And we want him to come to warehouse 4 and get clothing. Yep, warehouse 4. So Electronville warehouse, we're going to close that. And then we want him to come to here. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to say, I want you to fully load up with clothing. Now this is going to cost us some bucks, but you know what? I'm not going to have you wait because I'm going to auto purchase it, and I'd rather not clog up the warehouse. Oops, unload. I will have you wait here until you sell all your clothes. So one of the improvements I want to make, there you go. See, so now what we need to do is come in here, and because we're going to have clothing, and that's, yeah, I really have too many warehouses over here, but we're going to purchase clothing, and yeah, you know, well, no, that's fine. I don't really want to purchase 20 tons of it because it's awful expensive, but it's okay. I will bite the bullet and then that it'll be a one-time cost kind of thing. We have some extra money. It's why I want to do these kind of things. So you could start out going to get clothing to there. Now, what else do we need? We need meat. And we don't have any meat here. So I'm going to do the same thing with meat, where we're going to purchase whatever minimal amount we can. All right. And then I know we need to buy we're not going to have another refrigerated truck. Refrigerated. We really don't need the biggest, but I always like to buy the biggest. Less trips. All right, come over here, refrigerated truck. And I want you to go from here to here. Yeah, right now I'm going to have you wait in both places. Well, we're not going to wait here. Now, the benefit to having them wait in both places more than anything else is that they jam up when they're short of something. But for now, since we're just purchasing it, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So there we go. So that we're still purchasing things, but we're going to do it from a different location. Right? So what I want to do now is come here and say, stop purchasing all of that stuff. And hopefully we won't run out of it in the meantime, but we'll come back over here and we'll check to make sure that everything's working like we expected it to. And what this does for us, let's make sure, is that guy? Yep, there he goes, on his way. So in other words, when we do improve things and we have food by train, we're not going to have to come back in here and redo that. And I'm thinking that I would like to do something kind of similar as we go forward here. Now, let's see how these guys... Okay, these are the ones that I'm going to change. We have a lot of covered hauls running around here, and I'd like to, because we've replaced a lot of covered haul activity with trains. All right, so let's just see. Oh, okay, let me go down my list before I take a brief break here. The other thing I wanted to do, just because, hey, why not, that I noticed, is over here. We have these construction vehicles kind of sitting around doing nothing or very little. And I was thinking of, can we get, how many do we have? Oh, we have a full crew over. Never mind. I didn't even look. They're just so busy that it looked like they were empty. Is there some place we can put these guys that they would be more, or even just some of them? That guy's full too. I mean, we could think about putting them over here. I mean, they're not going to be the most efficient construction crew, but yeah, and then well, I guess we could put them, yeah, we could probably put some in here, especially if we got rid of, are we doing any more? Well, we might do excavating, but it's not like I'd be sending these guys too far away. So let's do this. Let's take, can I really zoom in? Yeah. Bulldozer. No, we'll leave the big excavator. Bulldozer and excavator. And let's send all of these over. This is one of the reasons I didn't want to put too many. Oh, what happened there? The glitchiness is really, it's not that big a deal, but it's annoying. That was a game save. Yeah, let's get these guys out of here. Good. That time the escaped worked as expected. So now we have this construction office up here. Let's give them all a chance to get out of there. I think there's one more leaving. All right, so we already have an open haul. We have a bulldozer and an excavator, which is good. You know what? Let's go back down here. Will you load up? Yeah, not enough space. Okay, so let's send. Oh, come on. This guy down to here to go get that crane. Let's see. We don't want the bulldozer anyway. Is there anything else in here that? No. Yeah, this tower crane. All right, so yeah, we don't want to shrink, or we don't want to close that. So this guy should take care of that. This guy we don't want over there. Yeah, so let's just come back over to here. No, this one, I mean. All right, so at this point, we don't have anything in here. So let's go move this guy over here for a second. Yeah, we're definitely going to want covered hall. We have this little covered hall. You know what? I'm going to sell this little covered hall. And I'm going to go take... Do we have one in here? Okay, you know what? What is this guy doing? All right, same deal here. I think we've got all these electronics out of here. So now we got to straighten out warehouse 4. What are you doing? So you're getting clothing. Okay, so you go to warehouse 5. But then we want to stop him. So I'll try to leave him up here so I remember to stop him at some point, which is good because we need to get these clothes going before they run out and get mad at me. And that's the negative thing about having them wait. If they wait and they don't get their stuff, and it might, you might have multiple things in the warehouse. So the fact that guy was waiting for whatever electronics, was blocking our clothing guy, which we did have clothing in there in a sense. All right, so anyway, I was hoping to find another unused covered hall that didn't have anything in it, which we should have coming into warehouse 4. It's assuming, yes. See, this guy's a regular big size covered hall. He was heading back to go get more electronics. He's empty. So let's send him into our construction area. Sorry for all of that. So food factories, construction. Okay, look, we have this open hall. Let's go back down here. So you... Yeah, can fit onto that one. And then let's go back to, oops, did I not? Oh, car manufacturing. No, what did I do? Oh, here it is. Come back to here. And yeah, open hall with the thing on it. I want you to come into here. Very good. So now we'll have a crane and an open hall. Yeah, this is the smaller open hall. So you can come into here. I'm going to just leave that crane. I don't think it's going to hurt to take this bus, put him in here. Dumpers are always a good thing to have. Mixer is always a good thing to have. There you go. And the excavator, we just don't need it up here. So there we go. So we can come back at some period of time, but we've moved at least that guy up to here. And we'll see what we end up with. We didn't really have to do that. I don't think we're going to do much leveling anymore. I think we got most of what it can help us with the leveling done. We'll move those bulldozers over someplace else. Car manufacturing warehouse is in good shape. We can close that. Town center, how are we doing here? Yeah, well, we're fully stored of meat, electronics, clothes, and food. So that means we got everything covered. And then I am going to, let's see, did this guy get emptied yet? Let's go down here and see what he's doing. He's getting there. So how are we doing? Yeah, the hope is that you could stay ahead of that train, but we're not quite. Like, in other words, I think I'd like to ramp this up sort of sooner than later. Now, how are we doing here? See, we're getting, the train's not back, yet we're working on our electronic components. And the thing, let's go take a look at that train. This is what I did to prevent the problem we were having, and it's not the world's greatest solution. But see, he hasn't dropped off any electronics. He's going to his last stop, which, yeah, MB distribution. not electronics, electrical components. And it's full. So in other words, now the problem we have is that he's running around completely full. All right, so let me take a little bit of a break. And we're not going to deal with that so much. Well, maybe we will. Let's see. This is all sort of part of the train thing, in my opinion. If you're plastic, yeah, we should work on the plastics. Why not do this by train now? Yeah, there's just a lot of little trucks that we had running around from forever that I think we can get off the map. And I will talk to you guys about that in a minute. Let me get rid of all of these guys done, and then we'll come back with the plan of spending quite a bit of our money electrifying all of our trains. That will be painful in its own right, I think. Okay, I will talk to you guys in a minute. Okay, I got those trucks unloaded from that stuff just so that they're unloaded. It also gave me a little time to come in and pick out a bunch of the locomotives that are the fuel-based ones. And before I start doing this, I'm really curious. And this is something I don't know the answer to, so we're about to find out. This locomotive, I just stopped him from his course. I probably could have picked one that was a little bit closer. But he's heading back, and he has gravel, which is, relatively speaking, not worth that much. I want to see if we can transfer to the electrical locomotive without losing the 280 tons of gravel that we have here. So having said that, the other thing I'd like to do, and I came back before he's actually there, I want to keep a close eye to when he gets back to the depot, though he should just go to the depot and we'll know he's there. One of the other things I want to do is get things like this oil trawl factory is not being done by train. So unfortunately, I think because of where this depot is, it's awkward for them to get from this depot onto the main supply route, which is that, no, you know what? He can get right there, can't he? Yeah, this won't be part of the main supply. So what I want to do is basically come in here. We don't have a train to do this, and let's see. I don't know if if anybody can tell me, let's go electric locomotive so we don't accidentally buy one that's not, I don't know. They just all seem the same to me. Why would you buy this one versus that one? I don't know. This one's red and bigger. There you go. All right. Sorry if that was a bad reason, I'm sure. And we want to be able to pick up plastic. So I don't see why we wouldn't get the biggest box car. We don't want to pick up more than 112, so I'm thinking, let's see, 4 of these cars would probably be enough, I would hope. And again, might as well go with this one's 17. Yeah, I don't know what the difference between these. Let's do this one because it's a different color and than our food trains. 4, I think I bought 4 of them. There we go. So now let's double click on this guy. And we will come over to here again. And we'll say, we want you to load up. Let's move this guy up. Give me some plastics, please. And you can wait there. And then I want you to take those plastics. Oh, yeah. I think it's here. No, that's mechanical components. Plastics there. Okay, and I want you to take them right to here. Double clicking thing happened. Let's get rid of the one that says unload. One less button to click. Unload all your plastics and wait there as well, because I don't see us having a second train to do that run. All right, so there we go. So we should be able to get out of there, get over, pick up plastics. And we'll start, and let's just set him off down out of the way just so we know. Now, the other thing we would want to do at that same point is see who all is coming in here and why. So you're going to Electrical Town. Why are you... Oh, you're going to Electronville. Oh, okay. So I see why we'd want a second train. Or not so much a second train, but maybe this guy should stop at both. Yeah, can he do that? We've got too much crapola opened. Oh, so wait a second. No, you can't. Where are you going? Sorry. Electrical components factory. Okay, so you're going. Okay, never mind. What we need to do. Sorry. So I need to come here. I think I went to the wrong place. Yeah, so this is the new train that we just bought. And these guys, yeah, I think they may be the same. These guys, yeah, well, these two can go to the depot because they don't have anything on them. Here, go to the depot. Go to the depot. And then when these two get done doing their thing, then we can send them. There we go. So this guy just got done doing his thing. Go to the depot. Now, again, I really don't know how much of this stuff you guys want to see. Where is he at in his route? He's getting there, so we have to keep an eye on this one. Right? So, again, I don't want to cut off our plastics, but, you know, then we want to make sure this train's actually working. But I don't see any reason not to send those guys to the depot when they're empty. And, look, our locomotive got over to there. So, where are you? Yeah, see, they do some strange stuff. Oh, you have all your plastics. Oh, good job, buddy. Good. Now, are you going a way that makes sense? Yes, I think you are. Though you're not going the way I would have expected you to go, but that's okay. Is there some reason you're not going around? Just want to make sure. Like, I would have expected him to leave. Oh, because you can't get out that way. Okay. In other words, he can't go out this way from there, which we should think about at some point in the future, but I'm not going to worry too much right this second. Yeah, so we'll just keep him there for a minute, make sure we see electronics. This guy's still dropping off, so I think, yeah, the other thing that happens I noticed is that even though they're in the depot, they still show up here. So I'm going to take my chances and close that. And we're going to keep an eye that we get enough plastics over there. But at the same time, so when we get this guy done, we'll try to send him real quick to some depot someplace. So now, in here should be this. So what we want to see about is if I buy, let's just buy the same electric locomotive, because why not? And switch all of these. Right, and then we're never going back to this guy again. So we're going to sell him, get a few bucks back. We should have copied the course. Gosh darn it. Okay, well, that's exactly why I'm doing this at this point. So I will go and give him a course. But the good news is look, he got this in there, right? So we didn't lose that gravel. So that's reassuring to me, because I was sending these guys back so that they didn't have bitumen in there, because I didn't want to lose a whole load of bitumen. But now that we know that, I'm going to send this guy to here. I'm just going to send all these guys. Look, he already made it back, darn it. But that's okay. We know that we're not going to lose anything other than the time. So what I can do is I can come in here to all of these trains. Yeah, with that guy we're waiting. That's not a train. And this guy, yeah, I need to give him a new course. So what I need to do is I do each one. Yeah, we'll send all these gravel guys over to here. So this will be a little blip in our money making but it shouldn't be anything too bad. Oops, too far. So what I'm going to do is send, just so I don't overload the train stops, we'll send all of the gravel guys to here. All right, and then what is this guy is? This is our plastics guy. Yeah, I guess I'll leave him open for a minute. And this guy, this is the corn guy that sits down here. And I'm not going to ever plan on exporting with him. Like, he's just sitting right there. So let's send him up to this depot. Right. And the reason I say that is because it's not easy for them to get. I mean, there's no electrical track the full way from here all the way up. Right, so we could correct that in the future. There is some electrical track, but not the full way. So if I tried to electrify these trains, I really can't at this exact moment. So I'm not going to even try. We'll get to that again. I think we're going to spend a lot of our money here in the next few minutes. Though I think I'm going to pause it. And now this guy, yeah, he's Stalingrad. You know what? I don't know where it's best for you to go, but why don't we have you go to... Yeah, you're heading down to Importska, but let me have you head to here. All right, so there we go. So most of them are heading that way. I've made the mistake. I'll have to give this guy, redo his course, which I don't even remember exactly what it is. So let me get all of these guys in. It's not that the episode's getting too long at this moment, but I don't think it's going to be that exciting for me to be waiting for each of these trains to get in. And then just basically do what we did without deleting the course. Like, I'll do the copy paste thing, I hope. And I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll see how much money we have left. And we'll hopefully have at least all of these trains straightened out, which is the majority of trains that we have. So I think we'll really have switched over pretty consistently to have more and more electrical trains and not have to worry about the diesel trains at all. All right, so I will be back pretty shortly. Okay, things are going pretty well, but I did want to share with you a bit of a glitch. So I'm just going to come back for a minute here and say that most of the trains are going. I do need to keep a close eye to make sure we don't see any question marks and go from there. But we got to this corn train, and I can't put this happened already once, and I restarted and I was able to put, but I can't add anything to this for some reason. I don't know if it's because I still had the purchase window open. I don't really know, but I dropped it on here and then it just goes down into here. So what I'm going to do, and I know this is going to be a very, very short clip here. Let me just restart the game. Well, you know what? I guess we could even do it together, right? Yeah, why not? I think that'll work. So let's just... I'm just going to hit save because, yeah, save. And then let's exit. Of course it crashed. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, that happens to me pretty regularly. This also happens regularly too. When I first come in, it gives me a no electric signal. But yeah, when I close the game, or close, not the whole game, but the map, it just crashes the game. So of course it doesn't always do it, but of course when I'm doing this. So here we are. So we got Gateway Love Train Depot. I haven't done anything, just came right back in. And see, now all of a sudden I can put them back in there. So a little bit of a bug, not sure what's happening. And just so you know, many of them worked fine. So now let's come here. Make sure we copy the schedule. Then I usually just open this one up to make sure it's copied. And we'll sell the vehicle. One other thing to point out. Now let's get this guy started. Yeah, you might as well go get more corn if you can. And let's play it. Make sure he gets started. Good. So I'll shrink this guy down. I don't even know if anybody else is going to this one, but I'll just open it up for a minute. Oh, there is somebody in there, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so let's see. Let's close this. Now, I want to be a little bit careful All right, so we'll open this guy up, and then I'm going to come here, electric locomotive. Let's close this screen first. All right, it worked fine. So maybe that might be it. I don't know, just kind of complete guessing there, but if it works, who knows? All right, so let's open this, make sure it was covered. Then I've just been taking a look to see how much stuff they have in them. This guy only has 4.9. So when I start him, he might as well just go back to that steel mill. We can close this. Now, before I had to do the restarting thing, of course, I had them all open. So I don't really know how many more vehicles I have left coming in here. But we'll just come back and check before the end of the episode or at times to just see if anybody popped into those two. So do we have any question marks? A lot of times you can pick them out from far away. No. Nothing I can see. Now, we'll see what happens. So the other thing I'd like to do, I think, what are we doing here? Little standoff. Did you get your whole loop done? Yes, you did. Very good. So let's get rid of that signal for a second. And very shortly, when he gets done, I think I can get rid of this crisscross, though I'm not super urgent to do it. And really, you came all the way out there to do that? Yeah, and that's the problem with not purchasing or having enough electrical components. Yeah, see, we don't have enough electrical components over here. Now, why is that? Is it because... Do we really... Oh, no, that's an open haul. Okay, sorry. I was going to say, do we really have no vehicles? So we have steel coming in here. Okay, well, that would explain it, wouldn't it? Yeah, because vehicles, let's just make sure we don't have them coming. Let's shrink some of this so we can see it. That's a cistern. Yeah, this is the, what is this? Gravel. All right, so we don't have, but guess what we do have? We got 7 million. Well, that's an exaggeration slightly, but we have many. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Or not get rid of it. Let's get rid of that. So where would we get? Yeah, see, we're not really set up too well down here. Do we have electrical components in here? Yes. All right, so let's go. You are going to have a new stop. Imports go warehouse, load. This isn't the ideal thing, but it'll get us going. And then now I want to add another stop up here. I want you to get rid of those things and wait. All right, so unfortunately that'll take a minute. Let's get rid of this stop. And go ahead and start. Okay, so we should get electrical components down there. Hopefully we'll get that track done. Yeah, we could have needed to still talk about getting something going here. So rail construction office we can close. We can close this. Did we get anybody else in here? No. Okay. So now what I'd like to do to end the episode more or less is get a train that will take crops from here to here and back. Now the only other problem with that is as soon as I do this, it's going to mess this up, right? So you know what I think we're going to do, just because we can, is come in here, and when I sold some of the trains off, I got dollars. I'm just going to finish this up with dollars for the sake of the video, and it's, yeah, for the sake of the video. That's why, not just laziness. All right, so I think the best thing to do is to come into here, and let's get an electrical. I'm just buying the same one every time because I'm boring. Yeah, so we want to be able to take crops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's going to be good enough. We can always put another train on it if we need to. And let's open this guy up and say your job is going to be to go from here, picking up crops, and dropping off crops here. Yeah, I want you to wait at both places. All right, so we'll see how that goes here in a minute. And what that means is that we'll be able to take a bunch of these trucks driving back and forth. And it also means we should start ramping up over here, right? So we could start, so the other one that I would want to do, look, we don't quite have this done yet, do we? Is that the only thing? We got the factory connections. Do we have power? This one wouldn't. No resources, missing crops. Yeah, I think we can. Oh, look, it's done now. Or for all practical purposes. Good. So that's another thing that we can deal with now or between the episodes. So what I would do is say, oops, let's specify 50-50. Yeah, you're not getting crops, but you will in a minute. So let's do the same thing here. Specify 50-50. Now, I don't think we even have any buses to that one. Anybody coming in there? Let's just go reopen that. I'm not sure why I closed it. Probably hit the escape button. Yeah, just leave that open for a second. Now, what are you open for? Okay, you're our crops train. Good, you're getting crops. I think, good, you'll fill right up. Now this depot seems to be working. We'll see. Keep it, or storage seems to be working. So now what I want to do before we go cutting off all those trains coming over here is make sure all this is, oh, look at that. We don't have, that's all right. We could be not completely done. And, yeah, get over here and do that. Is there something? Oh, you don't even have your silo done over here, do you? That's all right. We can get all that done. It's not, it's okay. If we're a little tiny bit inefficient for a minute, I'm okay with that. Yeah, so good. So what we need to do now, all related vehicles, we have 2 buses. Let's go look at what kind of bus this actually is. I would think we'd want, you know what, I'm going to close this. Yeah, these, yeah, 98. I don't think we need the fastest, but let's go into town here and look at, no, that's not a bus stop. Do we have a lot of people, like this side of town, I would tend to think we should just keep going over to there. And, yeah, we definitely have more people here, so let's go ahead to this depot here, and I think I'm going to buy 2 of the bigger buses. And they're going to go from, let's get one of them to go from this stop to this stop. All right, and we, oops. Yeah, I don't want you to take students. I just want you to take workers. I might as well tell it the same thing here, but I want you to get started. And then I want to, can I copy like that? No. I can copy like this. We'll let that guy get started for a few minutes. Not that it makes too much difference. And then we'll let this guy start. But why not just get him started separately? And then I know we're going to want to ramp that up. Oh, wait, you know what? No, I didn't really want to do that, did I? Let's see. We do have, yeah, let's have them go to this bus stop. Yeah, look at all those workers. And then my thought is, right off the bat, what if we just added 2 more buses? And I know this is maybe even an argument. The trolleys don't seem to be too much better than the buses, though they are cool. And we'll see how cool they are when we actually get them working. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add 2 more buses just because we can. Oops, and you know what? You can start now. And 2 more of the big buses. And I want to do... Yeah, there we go. So... let's have, I don't know what those other buses are doing exactly, but we're going to have this guy come to here, and then here. And why don't we add, yeah, that bus stop's going to go to there. We probably need another bus stop down this way, don't we? Now that we don't, we'll see. So why don't we go to like here to here. I think that gets 3 to each one. Let's just take it off of students. Yeah, I have no idea if they're all going to be back to back. Buses are a mess, but what can you do? There we go. So we should have a lot more people busing over here. We'll get this done. There we go. We've got crops going in. This guy, I don't know what he's about to do. Is he going to flip around, or is he going to just head back? And one thing I think I would like to do, yep, he's going to flip around. All right, let's this should be a chain in, just in case we ever get another train. And an other out. This can be 2 ways. And these should be regular. You know, just to have some signaling. I don't think it matters too much at this exact second. This should be that way out. Now here they can do a loop. And I want them to do the loop. So this should be like that. No. No, the loop has to be this way. So that means let's get rid of this one. And just for the sake of good practice, we'll put this as close to there as we can. This guy should be deleted. And you know what? Let's play it again. All right, this one should be a chain, or this one should be regular, and then this one should be a chain in. This should be a chain in. This one, this is like 2-way. Yeah, this should be like that. Same thing with this. Which means, well, these should probably be chains as well. And you know what? I'm going to just get rid of these 2. And these should be regulars out. Oh no, you know what? Come on. Yeah, I think that will work, I hope. All right, so they can loop back around and come back in on this line. They can pick whatever track they want here. Good. All right, so we're running out of time in the episode, but we do have... Oh, look, we got this one's making stuff. Is this... Let's... Oh. Get all this going. Good. So now the next thing we can talk about, and I think we'll do it in the beginning of the next episode, we can let this build up a little bit with alcohol. And again, remember, we're kind of getting rid of the pub. So maybe in the beginning of the next episode, we just keep improving our alcohol here. Let's see, did we get any more trains back here? Nope. All right, I'm just going to close this. So good. So we took a hit to our money. We got a few more dollars than we had before, but let's see, do we have any, so, oh, there we go. Look, we got a question mark. All right, so what is your problem? You can't go to Importska train. So you're trying to go from here to Importska. Ah. So something, yeah, this is not. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna work on that. But for now, what I think I'm gonna do is just delete that stop. Not ideal. Now, what are you? Oh, you know what? I never did look at our. Okay, so just as well that I didn't do this one. So anybody that was coming to here is going to have a problem. And what I think I'll do is once this guy gets off the track, and I might even do this between the episodes. Yeah, let's pause it so anybody else just gets an issue. And I guess that's not, that's already electrified. Is this electrified? Yeah, I think it is. A lot of times it's easier to drag where you can see and then sort of go past it a little bit and it sort of goes as green as it can. But at least that way you know when you initially clicked, you clicked right where you intended to. That wasn't the best move there. I didn't notice that other one, but there we go. So that'll be... And... Oh, you know what? This guy's going to have a problem, isn't he? No, stop that. Is this already electrical track? No, it's not. So I think you guys get the idea. I might as well finish it. Yeah, we might as well bite the bullet. Get that much. Even though I was planning, I think, on... redoing all of this. Potentially, I think it's worth just getting the electrical track going. If there's any little things I missed, I might just finish them with... It's more than I was planning on right now. Yeah, you can see this is just a mess. Picked it up through the game save there. There we go. Almost. I don't want to get in too much of a rush about that, but there we go. Now, the problem we also have is that we don't have many electrical components down here, if you remember from our last little fiasco. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here. Well, you know what? Since we're close to the American side, I'm just going to give it a wee little bit. And you know what? I really want to up. Well, that's the most we can carry. So we can, we'll just say purchase 1 ton because it's pretty critical that we get send them out with like nothing. So hopefully, yeah. Can we get over it? We've one way to fight this. Yeah. So we're really. Yeah, I've made this all the proper one way, so that's going to be a problem. All right, I need to cut the video because we're getting kind of overtime. Let me get in here. I'm going to do the electrical trains here so that guy's not a problem, and it's kind of good. I'll be down here to make sure that these guys are working, and I probably will even take some of these trucks off of this duty here, since now that we have the trains, like, you know, I'll have to see about getting them emptied. Might just sell off the excess crops and imports go there. And we'll come back and talk about getting vodka going even more efficiently, even though we might get rid of all of our pubs. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.